Hello, and welcome back to more Nova Arcana developer commentary, post-game stuff with Render. Hey, how are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you for asking.
I believe it is time for us to move on to the Cathedral of Shadows.
Shadows. So let us
And
move.
yeah, it looks like a giant cathedral.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the older builds that was kind of one of those leftover scrap things that I never really got to use.
I see. This is a
Quite a
leftover
few of
scrap
those.
thing. This was huge.
Yeah, I just made it and then never got to put it somewhere. And then I figured I can put it here.
And when you say
I have
made
quite a lot of
it,
these builds.
we talked about in one of the previous episodes, kind of like how you can build the outside of the structure, and then kind of like you go back and kind of like fill things in terms of like loot and spawners and exactly how you're going to do things. So when you say it was made
Mhm.
it and left over, like how much of the interior was done versus how much did you have to like do specifically for this map?
Okay, so the exteriors were completely done. Then the interiors were not done in layout, but they were in terms of kind of the pillars and the um, the cross. I have no idea what they're called in cathedral, at least not in the English.
Okay,
The one with the beams going like diagonal and then in a cross.
I see. Okay, so basically, kind of like the basic interior structure was there, but that was kind of all that was on
Yes,
the inside.
and then all I basically had to do is come up to finish the layout. But I kind of had the idea of you had to move from bottom and then level up because there was a big second layer going on.
Right. I'm not actually sure now that I think about it. Like, I haven't ever looked through in spectator mode or creative mode. I don't know that I have a good mental model for exactly how the different pieces of the cathedral fit together, so it'll be interesting to walk through it again now.
Oh yeah, okay. Like you mean how the inside and the outside kind of play together?
Like, I remember that there was at least kind of like two main levels on the interior, and then you kind of go out on the roof and go way up top to like go after the emerald and different things. But I just don't remember kind of like when I was going on the left hand side, the right hand side, or ascending different bits of towers. Like, I remember bits and pieces of it, but I don't remember how it all fits together.
Okay, okay.
It's a big flat bit
It,
of gravel here, but it's a
mm-hmm.
different trap than the one that I was expecting. I think when I came up.
Yep. And I'm not sure if you had these guys, the power free punch one skeletons. I think's what they are.
I remember that there was some kind of enemy here, and I remember breaking the spawner and shooting him with a bow. I don't remember any of the details of the enemy.
Okay, yeah, it might be these guys. So yeah, I first throw you the enemy, just as a little test,
Mm-hmm.
and it's power 4 even, so they've got good bows. And then as you break the spawner, you basically get barraged by
Right.
an overkill amount of potions and arrows.
And you put, I guess it was like two layers back or something. Yeah, there was like a bedrock here or whatever. And so if you wanted to, what was like, what did you expect players were going to do to deal with this?
Dig through the wall, go over it, which option I basically left open.
I
Because
see. Yeah, you could just go up to this height, I
you
guess.
can
Yep.
just do this or one level higher and then
Okay.
you're safe.
So yeah, I think that's what I did and what I've seen most people do is some variation of that. I just didn't know if there was any other cleverness.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is basically I think a creeper spawner. Yeah, there are four creeper spawners
Yeah.
on the floor. They just fall onto a tripwire, and a tripwire basically just triggers the pistons to go open, potions to fire, and then the pistons close again. Pretty straightforward.
Indeed. And yeah, I guess there were just a gazillion uh, potions and things in the dispensers here. If I open them up,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Tons of potions, etc. Alright, just peeking inside with spectator mode.
Mm-hmm. I broke the redstone.
Alright, that's good.
Oh, huh. Nice.
Didn't do a good enough job breaking the redstone, perhaps.
Yeah. Why is it still going off?
I remember kind of like
Oh,
breaking wiring on
here's
one side or the other
okay.
side or something. Maybe it wasn't this trap. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes you have
wired a bit.
redundancies.
Yeah, it was wired a bit weirdly, but quite often that actually is good for when people disarm your traps.
Uh huh.
Like you could have a simple redstone torch invert into a TNT block, but what if you put like 20 redstone torches around and some are off, some are on, there's wire going everywhere, then that becomes way more fun in trying to
You're
look for
right.
what's actually going on.
All right. So then we come up here. And okay, so we've got like the crazy. Uh, does this guy not have a name?
Piglin. I guess
I
not.
guess like a not a name tag mob or whatever. Yeah,
It's
but it's.
basically a melee version and a ranged version of these guys.
Hmm.
And they're always angry even when you throw gold at them.
I see.
Because I made sure that on creative mode I think it's differently.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You could do this with a game rule, but oh, I got some leather from them. You can do this with a game rule, but I did it with a custom spawner tag, by which they remember that you basically attacked them even though you didn't.
I see.
And I did that because the actual game rule implementation kind of messes some of the AI up, especially Enderman.
I see.
So yeah.
All right. So yeah, more. Are they called piglins? I forget. Like,
Yeah, piglins.
yeah, piglins to deal with. Right at the beginning, and there's a creeper here, but I think is he a natural spawn or did he wander from somewhere that was kind of like non-obvious?
It should be a natural spawn.
Okay.
Because I'm basically slowly trickling enemies to you,
Right.
like new enemies.
Yep. All right. So yeah, you get an overview of this crazy place. You got the creeper firewall. You've got, if I turn on the night vision, there's some electrified creepers down there. There's some crazy potions being fired at an arc from somewhere. There's some pits. There's a lot to take in.
Mm-hmm. The layout was kind of designed, kind of inspired by all those late game areas you see in video games where it's just an open battlefield, lots of pillars and walls and kind of upper platforms and just sheer chaos.
Right. I can't remember if I used. I think I might have used some speed potions in this place because I did remember thinking about the fact that it looked like a nice flat area. But one of the first things I did was I saw the electrified creepers and I was like, okay, I need to find and get rid of that spawner. And I also saw these potion things being shot and I was like, I need to get over there and break those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically the idea is that you come straight over and then you have blazes and you have thingy shooting. How did you actually deal with this? I actually don't remember.
I believe what I did was I dug straight through the staircase so that I could come out on the bottom floor. And so basically, I dug through the wall to like come out over here, and then basically did like super speed torch run and try to light some things up. And eventually, somewhere, I found a little cubby hole that has the electrified creepers coming out over here,
Okay.
and started trying to take the bottom floor first. And yeah, kind of came around this end and dealt with some things over here as well, just to
Yeah.
kind of like ease up. I didn't want to try attacking from the top, I think for two reasons. One was because the potion spawner seemed like a ultimate threat, and two was because I was afraid if I did fall down and I knew there was like all these bad guys in the bottom that I'd just get overwhelmed, and so I wanted to do some reducing the threats in the bottom before I did much else.
Mm-hmm. This super creeper spawner used to be a fun box. So while you would be standing here, there
Oh
would just
wow, you
be
just
piles
generate
of
tons
mobs
and tons of
underneath you.
mobs. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I know it does that, but it's electrified super creepers.
Indeed.
And I also made sure that once you get to the potion hurling spawner, there's
Hmm.
just separate potions dropping around.
I don't remember exactly. Like, I came over here and just kind of busted up the spawners and didn't look very carefully. So it's basically a potion spawner defending the potion launcher.
Exactly.
Okay.
They basically shoot at specific angles.
Got it. And there's some wither skeletons, which I guess are coming from this spawner right here.
Yeah, I basically use those as they're immune to the instant damage as well.
I see, that makes sense. As opposed to the blazes we already saw got killed by some of them.
Yep. I found it kind of funny to leave the blazes there just so they could get shot too.
But yeah, I don't think I ever ended up going back through the top there.
All the instant harming potions in the map used to be instant harming 2. But then I basically nerfed them all because of the health mechanics in this map.
I see. I don't know what harming versus harming 2 usually does. Is it like 2 hearts versus 4 hearts, just base damage, or?
It's 3 versus 6
Oh,
if
wow.
it hits you completely correctly, which it never does. Because it needs to hit you from right above you, I believe. So, like...
Yeah.
So, yeah. And they just spawn pretty quickly.
Yep. Alright. So yeah, with those taken out, you could choose to attack the top and then kind of come down the stairs into the room.
Yeah, the intended route, but I expected people to come down differently as well.
And then, yeah, it was mostly, like you said, kind of like super dungeon, run around, light things up, find spawners. It was pretty fun gameplay.
Lots of explosions, ranged enemies. Not super much to actually kill you, but more to have fun. These piglin guys could do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
If you grab for them correctly.
And yeah, they were, it was kind of, you suspected that just based on the fact that they were in these spawners where you tend to place some of the harder enemy spawners inside the obsidian and some netherwort blocks.
Mm-hmm. The netherwort is hard to break or slow to break unless you have a diamond hoe on you or whatever hoe.
Right.
But nobody uses hoes or has them on them, so...
Right. Various loot.
And some pretty good loot. And this loot platform is symmetrical to the opposite side.
Blazes were there.
But yeah, the idea is then that you go up on this path to cross over to the middle side.
Yes, and definitely the gas and all the other guys on this platform made this. I had to take multiple approaches to get in here well.
Yeah, that especially since this gas spawner is kind of placed near the surface and gas can't go up too much. There's a high probability that he will see you and will shoot you.
Right, yeah, the limited vertical space means he's not going to go flying way above to where he doesn't get line of sight to you, or his AI doesn't know how to find you.
I've so far been pretty nice with gas spawner placements in this map, but this one is pretty well placed because it's around the Y level of the player.
Right. And it was also the case that, yeah, if you kind of started walking up to the front of the room or whatever, in addition to all the stuff in the front of the room, like you get more in range of this guy. I don't remember. You probably even just be like in the middle of the room or whatever and start spawning some of him.
Yeah,
so he's
because
going to be a constant threat.
Because he's further to spawn activation distance. Oh yeah, there's also something that happens.
Oh, right. These guys don't like each other. I forget who doesn't like who.
They both don't like each other.
Oh, okay. So either one will attack the other. Interesting.
Yeah, but I think if the player is there, then they will both go after the player.
Got it.
So you rarely see it playing out. And it is a mean spawner mean spawner combination. The silverfish spawner is always a phantom spawner.
Mm-hmm.
Because phantoms on peaceful will still get triggered, like instantly.
I see. Okay.
I put a silverfish in, so I could basically don't have to worry about triggering spawners in peaceful difficulty.
I see. So is Phantom riding it and the silverfish just says wither or something and goes away, or how's it work?
Yeah, it's an invisible um, silverfish with 1 health, and he is wither, or instant damage, or both.
Okay. Gotta get rid of that
And
so we
then when
don't
he
end up spawning a
spawns,
million phantoms.
yeah, because they keep kind of piling up as well. Yeah, mean spawner that makes noise, mean noise maker with power punch skeletons.
So these are the first guys that we just, yeah, saw at the very beginning. Okay. The Sagittarius. And yeah, I guess basically you could approach them from either side. I think the way that I did it was I came through here, I got this thing under control, and
Wait,
then came up the staircase over here. Sorry, do you see?
Where's over here? Wait, let me.
I'm near the
Oh, I
front.
see you.
Okay. So yeah, I came through the front, dealt with the spawners kind of in the middle, and then came up this way,
Oh, and then went over to the right.
and then bridged over here.
Oh yeah, I remember. Didn't something funny happen with like a creeper going dancing or something? Was that someone else?
Might have been. I don't actually remember.
Anyway, that's probably beside the point.
Yeah, it was fun.
And here I made sure you can also parkour over to it.
Oh yeah, yep, we talked about that before, but I didn't really think about it or notice here. And yeah, this was another. It's also fun to do these rooms because you come in and it's so incredibly fraught. But if you're one of the players who does try to conquer the area, like eventually you, break all the spawners and then you're walking back through it and then it's nice and quiet. And it feels like such a difference. That's just kind of fun to experience.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite types of room. Just these big open rooms with lots of enemies and different hurdles going on, where it's just pure chaos. And then get Sun Fury. It's a perfect weapon for all the enemies around here.
Yeah, most of them.
Except for
Not going to do the
except for
creepers very
piglins.
well.
Yeah, piglins and creepers, but all the undead,
Yeah.
like the phantoms. The phantoms are also bigger than the normal phantoms, because phantoms, when they're smaller, they have such a small hitbox. It kind of annoys me.
I see. I I hadn't really noticed, but now that you mention it, like they do feel big. Is there, how do you do that? Like, do they have a size or a growth thing going on, or?
Yeah, they have a size tag. Like here's a normal one. You can maybe see that they're a bit
Yeah, okay.
smaller.
Yep.
They have a size tag, but I don't think it's used in game. I
I
think
see.
the original idea was just that after,
Multiple nights or something?
yeah, they become bingoer, bigger.
Interesting.
Anyways, these guys make too much noise.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did we make or break some blocks here, or is this creeper face have a couple of extra blocks that I don't think were in my version of the map?
That might have always been there.
Huh.
Lousy map maker.
Indeed, literally unplayable. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall if I decided to fly through the eyes, or I probably just placed some blocks or whatever to see if there was anything behind the fires that were here. But no, it was just kind of decoration, and there's some bedrock just a little ways back there to help prevent probably people getting into this room.
Mm-hmm. It's the fun room. This is a room that you need to think quickly, like, okay, creeper spawning at the end. You have pressure plates. Creeper's gonna spawn and gonna immediately walk towards you. What are you gonna do?
I chose to decide that
Okay.
at this stage of the map, I didn't care what the loot was, and I never came back to this room, I think. after thinking about it for a little bit. But I did see two people successfully get to the loot without blowing the place up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you
And
can either
I can't remember if
break.
anyone ender pearled. Like, you could ender pearl over, like, add some torchlight and ender pearl back out, and then fire arrows maybe that were not
I
fire
think
arrows.
I think they instantly spawn.
Yeah, I think
I
so
think
too.
what I would do is quickly run over and just
Block off the
put
pressure
blocks on top
plates,
of the.
and then you can just kind of carefully take your time.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the loot in here is pretty trollish, if I remember. Yeah, it's just
I think it was a stick, right? Yeah.
just another lucky stick. There used to be this used to be a different kind of puzzle where you would go to the right. Oh, the bedrock is still here. Nice. And you would then go over here, and it would be the same on the opposite end. And there would be a big room with lots of TNT lined around the bottom, and then lots of creeper spawners, and a chest in the middle.
I see.
But I felt that after that would have basically just been too much. Basically, people would be fiddling too long with that stuff before actually, continuing on. Kind of breaks the flow of the level.
I
That's
see.
my idea. So yeah, now it's just a shorter side challenge.
I see. And I guess it's all contained in bedrock, and so if you blow it up, other than making a mess in here, it doesn't really affect anything with the rest of the level.
Correct. hmm And this is basically right underneath the central tower.
Go into
So if you go
spectator
into
mode.
spectator, you can see that.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Right. Let me get some night vision again so that people can see. I remember this room. We'll get there eventually. All right. And yeah. Also, yeah, I just kind of like the the creeper face at the end of this room. So if you
I
didn't get,
really
go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say I really like how dramatic the entrance is with the bonfires in the ceiling, and then you see the flaming creeper face at
Right.
the end of the big room with all the spawners and ledges and mobs.
And I know in the upstairs chandeliers, okay, yeah, it is in these chandeliers as well. There's blaze spawners. Was there just one spawner in each?
Yeah, it's basically just one.
Okay. And was that intended to be to discourage people from climbing up into the ceiling and just trying to uh, take the high route above the whole room, or was it just kind of you had the chandeliers for the look of the place anyway, and it made sense to
I mean, this is the only one that actually like triggers when you normally play the area. So this
right,
one is just for gameplay. But on the second floor, there are higher up
right.
to basically block people
That's
from
what I was remembering. The
going
second floor,
places.
it did not block me because I
Mhm.
remember going into the ceiling. Anyway, we'll get there.
You did. And then here,
Oh, and over
uh
here,
huh. I remember this one because
I
nobody expect this one.
I remember it too.
This one is fun.
Ah, I should have expected it.
hmm
Boop, lava.
It's a trap. I don't think this one should kill anyone really, unless you're like really low on health. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
think I ended up. I don't remember if I had to splash a fire resist potion or if I managed to get out and get some water, but yeah, it got me pretty good. So I felt silly.
hmm That's my favorite when I get to laugh at people.
And I forget if the normal exit out of this room, like if you've kind of completed this room, is there something that brings you outside in the back right?
um, there is no exit to the like lower outside,
Oh, it's in the front through the pillar,
but
right?
there is on the sky bridges or whatever
Okay.
they're called. I think we talked about this last time as well.
But yeah, once again, I'd forgotten the flow in here, and I think I ended up just because I heard mobs in here, maybe from the entrance, because I think it's pretty close, maybe.
Yeah, it is right on the right.
Yeah, and so I think I'd already dug through the wall over here and kind of like found this room um,
Hmm.
that way.
So this is the inside of the right tower,
Right.
if you stand from the entrance.
But yeah, basically, this is the place that you would find if you took the kind of like intended fun path or whatever through the whole
Hmm.
place.
And I made it so you have to run towards the left because the right one is broken. And there's also Blaze Spawner kind of a level lower, which is a bit more difficult because that means you have to go down. And there's chances of you falling down with the holes in the staircases or
Hmm.
in between the pillars, decorations in the staircases. And then fun box in the middle, just for chaos.
Just
That's
for
what they're good at,
chaos.
just for chaos. Why put one spawner down when you can have 9?
That's right.
This mapping tip has been brought to you by renderXR.
And then I guess because there were two distinct spiral staircases, you had to kind of like use one of these crossover paths to get from one to the other to finally make it over to the door, as I recall.
Hmm. And then one of them is the door, and the other one ends up in the ranged piglin guy.
Right. These guys with the
Got-
crossbows, and there's a stash of money behind you, so that
Mhm.
you feel like you got something if you conquer that section.
These guys aren't that dangerous, the crossbow guys. They just hit through shields because they have piercing.
I see.
If I if I would redo them, I would put fireworks or instant damage arrows on them with commands.
I see. And then after kind of mixing things up after all the big open rooms or whatever, like now all of a sudden we get into some tight corridors for a little bit of a change.
Hmm. So we go from open to tight corridors, and then eventually back to open as well, or at least linear open kind of thing.
Yeah, and it was a little bit mazy in here, but it seemed to me that there was only like one or two branches or whatever, and things would either dead end or come back together.
Yeah, it's basically a straight path with basically a loop,
Hmm.
and I think there's over here the amethyst would hopefully clue people to come here and then see the little gap in the wall, which brings you to the right outside,
Hmm.
and then you would basically continue walking along until you find a chest.
Some nice things.
Hmm. And if you continue on, which people wouldn't normally do,
There's no way to parkour
nope.
it.
This is more kind of like a because it's symmetrical on the other side. I was expecting people to be like, "Oh, maybe it's on this side too,"
Right.
and then go this way and find all the.
Right. I think I only saw one person find this room maybe.
Hmm.
And this was pretty good loot. Like there's a lot of resources in here.
Hmm. People always got. I liked how everybody was like, "Oh, this is certainly a trap," but where is it? And then there's no trap. Mainly because the obsidian floor. There's too many resources.
In general, I feel like the one pattern that maybe I shouldn't mention it because I like it when a pattern finally does hold up because you've been so unexpected. But when there's a loot room that's like way out of the way that most people aren't probably going to find, like those ones you tend not to trap.
Yeah, I think that's just also not super satisfying to kind of trap those as well
Yeah.
for that reason. I'm maybe like a scare trap, but not like an actual. I'm gonna drop charge creepers and TNT and whatever on your head now.
Right. Nevertheless, the
Because
obsidian floor probably made people who did find it uneasy.
hmm uh, yeah, and then you basically have to backtrack towards the
Okay.
other side again. The
So
The
this was
glass
basically a
stained
side area.
windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, glass stained windows. The bottom ones are normal fire, and the top ones are soul fire. Was the idea, like the red and blue
I
in terms of
see.
colored glass.
I never called it out. I did notice that there was kind of like the difference in color between the bottom floor and the top floor, but I didn't actually um, take in that detail in terms of what it looks like before.
Hmm.
That's cool. All right.
Let's see. Then we can continue on the main path. I see your name slowly approaching.
I'm catching up. There we go.
And here I basically created a little zigzag with spawners at each end of the zigzag.
Yeah, so you're pretty much necessarily going to have spawned a few monsters in the next hallway around the corner by the time you get there.
And below you and on the sides there's I guess only on the sides there's bedrock, but below and above you there should be obsidian. Except for there, because that goes to the roof.
So basically,
Yeah,
what you're
here
saying is the player is deterred from going any other direction other than just taking the hallway.
Yes.
Okay. It was a
And
fun enough
basically
fun
so
path
that
that I was just
because
thinking about
on
trying
the
to get
other
around.
side of this is the little lava mode from the upper floor, and above you is the actual upper floor. So I didn't want people to just go that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So while you were taking the zigzag, quite a few cave spiders would have piled up.
Right. So I seem to recall this room has like a cross in the ceiling. And I think I dug up there, like thinking that it's gotta be a marker for something, and it wasn't anything.
Yeah.
Am I misremembering?
You're right. That's basically because it's if you go into spectator
Uh huh.
and then look up, you can kind of see why that's there. It's because of the
It's like the
basically
base
the wall.
of the
Yeah, the base.
pillar that's supporting the roof or something.
That's just a little thing that I didn't properly look at because looking up at this game is hard
Right.
for map makers and players alike.
Indeed. So is there a little walkway out here to the other side?
Yes, that's on the.
Don't remember if I actually came out here or not. I'm not even sure if I saw this in my playthrough. This is still the same level, so is this basically the other way that you could walk to the treasure room?
This basically just leads to
Or are we on the
the
opposite side
other
of the
treasure
castle?
room.
Okay,
Yeah, we're now on the left side.
got it. Okay.
Because from the left side, you can basically also see
Yeah, okay.
the other area. And from here, you can actually kind of see the emerald at the right
Oh, really? Let me come over
corner,
to
I
your
believe.
vantage point. Hold on.
Yeah, from here, you could kind of see the green. Keyword being kind of, because it's still pretty.
Oh,
all the way
from
up
the other
to
castle if you never
54.
got it, basically?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
I enjoy when you can kind of see, like, hey, that's something I actually never visited. Maybe I should check that out.
All right.
Because
Yeah,
if you
that's
never
good.
got the emeralds, then those top floors would be dark as well.
Right.
So I
Neat.
kind of enjoy it when you basically come to the other side of a ravine and see something you haven't explored, and then you can explore that.
All right. And so here's like the symmetrical treasure room. Although it's slightly different. It's got more money in this one.
Mm-hmm. More money, less
Less blocks.
iron.
Yeah.
I think these are the only two places where I hand out like solid gold blocks.
All right. And so we just came from over here.
Yes.
And so if instead you're just kind of like following the natural pathway of the hallways, you'd be continuing through here. And then after a bit of tight corridors, I think we open back up into a big room again.
Mm-hmm. This is the left front tower. So we
Okay.
basically kind of done like almost a loop, like a U shape through the I guess the middle floor we could call it. So the lowest floor is like a really big floor, and then the middle floor is this kind of smaller, more um,
Right.
packed, and then
And then
there's
this
an
is going
upper
to be a
floor.
spiral staircase that's going to bring us up to the upper.
Hmm.
Okay.
And to the roof of the towers.
And let's see. Got it. So basically, the roof is all the way up on top, and this little side hallway is where we go for the main gameplay, I think.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we should do that first. Or which one do
Main
you,
gameplay?
which one do you want to do
We
first?
can do the main one first.
Okay.
So this is built on the kind of what's going on down below, but putting it more in more linear gameplay. So you kind of go more from this side to the other side instead of the other one where it's just chaotically running around. And then I try to kind of put these semi old school terrain kind of complications at you. Like you have the skeleton turrets in webs,
Right.
which you kind of hire, and then you kind of have to figure out how you would attack that.
And yeah, I guess in this room, this is also the case. Like, there's no longer a path, at least that I can see. It's kind of like now you're on your own. You're going to be pillaring up or building ladders or staircases or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of almost like a siege of a, you know, castle or fortress.
That's really what it was meant to feel like, yeah. And then these spawns are also getting more difficult now because they only gonna get a few blocks or one even exposed of netherite. Because otherwise you have to get a diamond pickaxe
Right.
to take some more time.
So I think I ended up, yeah, multiple times trying to pillar and then possibly even build a staircase or a ladder a little ways away from the creeper spawner until I got the creeper spawner out, just to kind of get a foothold
Mm-hmm.
up on the top level.
And then lots of skeleton spawners to barrage the player.
Right. And when you're walking up here and kind of like standing here, it wasn't immediately obvious to me that there were these staircases from the lower floors. And so as I was trying to get this lit up, like mobs were appearing from I wasn't sure where, and it took me a little bit of time to realize that, oh, there's a staircase and they're just walking up.
Uh, it's the trick of perspective.
Yep. So someone in chat is asking something that you've talked about before, but about the tools used to make this.
I use World Edit, or Fast Async World Edit, Voxel Sniper, Mshedit, World Painter, and 14er Edit.
And you
Which
said
I
that
would
most of the
recommend.
map structure was made in previous versions of Minecraft and then just imported and you added the spawners in the current version.
Exactly, because 1.13 broke a lot of the mapping tools, so
Right.
I'm forced to do it that way. And behind the staircases, there's some fun, some hidden fun.
Oh. I think I might have just lit things up and not discovered that.
Oh, not even the potion of the chest of regen potions.
No, I
This
don't
one's
think I
really
found
nice.
that. Yeah. I don't remember. Did Clover find that?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay. I did not
He
remember
has
that. And yeah, I didn't remember seeing anyone find that actually, so I'm just forgetting probably. And I waited until I cleared the entire room to go after any of the diamond blocks.
Just noticed.
What'd you just notice?
They fixed the
Oh, the soul sand and the ice?
Yeah, they fixed the packed ice underneath Soul Sand trick. Because this used to make you really slow.
Right.
Because Soul Sand used to be not considered a full block, and you couldn't place torches on them.
Right.
So you had to move really slowly on it.
Got it.
But yeah, I guess they fixed that.
Yeah, because I guess generally anytime you weren't standing on, yeah, full block height, then it would check the block below in terms of, yeah. I don't know. Minecraft and such blocks has always been weird.
Yeah, so you have basically a blaze spawner and a potion spawner. And then there used to be one blaze spawn in the middle here as well, but I removed it after it got a little bit too much, because blazes can be just too slow to deal with.
I see. Yeah, and I think basically I chose one side and just kind of like dealt with that side and then kind of stayed away from the other side when I was coming to this room.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because everything is basically made for keeping you back from going that way. But if you attack it the other way around, it will become a little bit easier if you were attacking it from the back.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
Kind of like you infiltrated a castle and infiltrating it from the inside out.
So yeah, so on the way back, I decided to pick up some diamond blocks that I didn't really need, but they're just lying here, and so what harm could it be? I'd already broken one of them on the side, and nothing bad had happened to me. So I broke the second one.
Yeah.
And
Kaboom!
is it just a
It's
observer? I don't remember.
I believe so, yeah. And some wooden pressure plates in between for the smarter people. Or I guess people that are lucky. Noting TNT.
So fortunately,
Because it's a diamond block. Why would I trap that?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah. Fortunately, like, there was, even with the spider webs and soul sand or whatever, like, there was enough time for me to get away that I managed to escape alive. Ah, I see. Okay.
And it's also made so that if you run basically one of the cardinal directions, it would kind of chase you in
Got it.
those directions. Yeah, I was hoping people would then get stuck in the packed ice with soul sand plus cobwebs.
And even all these cobwebs couldn't save you from this explosion. I always think it's weird that cobwebs have so much blast deterrence or something.
They're so ridiculously like durable cobwebs. They're so powerful.
Where is the gas spawner in this area, or did you already break it?
There's two down
Oh,
here.
yeah, these guys I remember now. Yeah, and just pouring water to come down here.
These are such mean locations because they're just too low to actually get them.
Right.
And when they spawn, they rise up and they instantly see the player.
Right.
So they're like perfectly put here.
Indeed.
Probably one of the more difficult things in this room. Too many ghasts.
Neat.
They're gone.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Should we set off the explosion now that we've seen it?
Yes. Let's go. Some fireworks.
That did it pretty cleanly, but I guess you'd already taken away a bunch of the blocks around it. Pretty sure it did not end up as clean in my version.
It mostly kind of stays low, the TNT, because it's all on bedrock, so there's no chance for TNT to get
Right.
underneath other TNT.
Right, to actually shoot it high into the air. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, then one way or the other, players will bridge across or go across in the using water buckets across the lava or whatever. and get to these crazy towers, which I guess there's like two different structures, like the interior towers and the exterior towers have different kind of spawner behavior and turrets on top and different things.
Yes, so there's basically the outer two towers have creeper spawners, two creeper spawners,
Hmm.
and every spawner is two skeleton spawners at least, and in the middle two on the inside have money.
I see.
So they're not completely the same was the idea. Because 4 times the same tower can get kind of lame.
Yep. And there were gold ingots inside the treasure chest here.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case
On top
somehow
of
these guys, who I guess probably spawned angry anyway, somehow weren't angry, they would get more angry.
Even more angry. They would like super power up. They would get like a red glow like the charged creepers and then would just instant kill you. That would be cool if you could apply that charged creeper effect onto other mobs. It's like a super powered boss mob or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just for visuals. And then you come into the main room. And this is where people start dying, hopefully.
So, the floor of this room, you have three different blocks. I guess I imagine maybe the prismarine and the nether brick both have high blast resistance, and so it's only the nether rack that has the low blast resistance.
Yeah, there's basically netherrack, which is a blast resistance of 0, and then the other two have a blast resistance of 30. Around stone, which is 30. And yeah, it's not really meant. It's meant to all explode, but yeah, some of it would explode more often.
Right. And so, yeah, I wasn't sure to what extent, yeah, the choice. I mean, obviously, it's kind of, just there's colored themes and things that you're doing here and decoration, but the diagonal strips of nether rack in an area where there's lots of gas firing at you seemed like it was also definitely designed to um, behave in such a way that the floor is going to become a giant mess and create problems, potholes for the player.
This area really becomes a mess, especially with the falling creepers everywhere.
Right.
I believe there are 4 or 6 spawners on top. The answer is 6. My memory still serves me well.
So yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun room. It was extremely difficult due to the falling creepers and due to the height. Like, you had to stack up a lot too, so like you really needed to either pick the right spot to where the creepers weren't going to be falling on you or the gas wasn't going to shoot you while you were trying to like stack up or get up however you're going to get up there.
Yeah. So what's going on here is there's basically kind of a loop of what's defending what. Like the piglins basically make sure you kind of can't go up easily.
Right.
But you need to take the creepers out to kind of get the bottom safe.
Right.
And then once you go to the creepers, there's actually stuff like there's knockback skeletons. The punch skeletons are up 1 floor extra.
Mm-hmm.
So those are a pain. And then if you want to take out the ghast and the blazes, then you have to actually make sure you don't get hit by the potion spawners too much as well. So it's like a whole... Every spawner is kind of hard to break because they're all kind of defending each other situation. And then the added height might make you fall and die as well.
Right. So yeah, I remember it being a real struggle to get up to the first level the first time. But then once I did, it was, made sure I had the right potions going or whatever and had your kind of YOLO moment where you just run around and try to break all the creeper spawners that were on this floor and then feeling safe enough to just try to do the same thing for another level up. It was fun.
Yeah. This one is really fun. I really like this dungeon in general, how it turned out. Probably one of my favorite, like, gameplay-wise, just because of the heavy combat focus.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and this is again like we talked about, like the defended fortress that you're breaking into. This is another room and one of the first rooms of its type where there's no fun path. It's like this is Minecraft. It's a building game. figure it out. Do your own thing.
Mm-hmm. I think I might make more of that type of gameplay. Like because this map so far, I believe, has been very run and gun, and not like try to attack things strategically and think about how to build blocks and stuff.
Mm,
More like older maps where the path was less straightforward and more about making your own path.
right.
Oh yeah, and then there's the same trick in the floor again with the
Right. This one was more predictable because of the fact that with all the explosions and different things, I'd already seen that there was lava underneath this floor, and so I was expecting that there was going to be lava underneath here as well.
mm-hmm. So it should have been pretty easy to detect.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess these had obsidian all the way around. Also, maybe down at the
Yes.
bottom. No, it's even on the bottom.
On the
Yeah.
bottom as well.
Yeah. So that was another thing with the creepers falling on your head. Like that again worked really well together for this late stage in the map, where the player can take it. Like the player has to stand here for a number of seconds to try to break through this, and in the meantime, almost certainly a creeper is going to fall on his head. So
Yes. What you can do to see, I did give out TNT. You can use TNT to kind of blow up the
spawner from the
spawner.
inside, even though you didn't break the obsidian.
Because you can TNT goes through corners,
Right.
like even diagonally, so you should technically be able
Yeah, it would probably
to
work.
go
I
through
didn't see
bedrock
anybody
that
try
way.
it. I didn't even think about doing that, but that could have been an effective technique especially if you were already carrying like the Infernizer or something and had an easy way to set off the TNT. Like keeping those two
Yeah,
things
like this should break it. Oh,
on your
it broke
person.
it. Mhm.
It did indeed break it. Yep.
Well, I secretly broke that one by hand
Oh,
accidentally while I was
okay.
trying to punch away the. Wait, let me show them this one.
All right.
Just for the people at home.
Didn't happen to work that time.
Sometimes does it. Completely broken. I'm a liar.
What if it's down one level so that it's
Did
on the
they change
same
it?
level at one axis?
Does this one still work? Oh wait. Okay,
Back
that
at
one
it.
still
Okay.
works. I guess the corner doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, so maybe just the corner. And there's some randomness too, so yeah, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and yeah, the other thing
Well,
was in this one, I think I'd fought my way all the way up to the top before I even noticed the loot box. I might be misremembering. I might have seen it at some point earlier, but there was so much to deal with the mobs that I was kind of very focused on them, and um, both the strength and
so,
reliability of my focus is sometimes I don't see things that are right in front of me.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Every time you say that, I get flashbacks of Eventide trance. uh,
Uh, so
yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
sometimes
like
have that too.
this was another one that it was a happy surprise that I was fighting through the room and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, it's the record. I am a
Oh, that's
success.
nice.
Good for me.
Yeah, it's like you're fighting through fleets of mobs, so you have fleet at the end.
Let's see. And then, yeah, this is another place where you hopefully subdue the room behind you because there is a bit of a walk back just to get things out and also to go to the other path that'll get us out to the roof where we can go try to
Mm-hmm.
find the emerald.
And I was hoping people would kind of also just break through the wall right here, go on the roof, and make a water bucket drop out.
I see. I think I did that once or twice or used ender pearls. Um, yeah, this place was very tall.
Mm-hmm. I believe this actually goes from like 60 to 220 or something, so it's a really big cathedral.
Yep.
So yeah, this room goes higher than the one on the right tower, which allows it to go into the ceiling or the top of the actual tower.
Right. And here is crazy render parkour of ladders going all over the place with
Ladders.
creepers.
Ladders and creepers, as being requested by War Never Changes. That was first always a joke, and then it became a serious thing.
I see. And then we're out on the roof.
Hmm.
And yeah, it wasn't that bad. Like, it's usually the first kind of thing or whatever. Like, you peek your head out, and there's already some mobs up here, and so you had a little bit of work to get a foothold. But once you had a foothold, you'd be in some good armor, and good things would happen.
Hmm.
Yeah, and there was this chest of 4 ender pearls, and there was this very obvious platform looking over here to another chest. So I did throw the ender pearl and do the thing, and I was happy.
Hmm. It done it pretty well for you.
Um, and Solaria, Shooter of Stars, remind me. This was like the
Some
golden
bow.
looking bow. Power 4, punch 2, looting 3, flame 2. It's pretty
It was
good.
meant to look more like a fiery, molten kind of material.
I see.
But I think it looks too much like gold, yeah. Which made it feel less amazing than intended.
It's yeah, I don't know. Whenever there's I know you spend time on them or whatever, like the custom icons or custom art or whatever. I'm just like, okay, it's special, and that's all I think about it.
Hmm. I mean, I don't expect people to stare at it for hours or hang it on their fridge or whatever.
Right. And then it was pretty obvious, I think, also when you came over here that basically there was no way to go, and so this was just, to get that bit of loot. Um, but
Hmm.
that was the thing there. And then over here, I was proud of myself that if I turn off the night vision, that I saw the light up in the corner of the ceiling, and I was like, what's up there?
Blinded by the light.
And it
Yeah.
only took me. I think I
Only
did
half
some.
an
I
hour.
think I built the platform part of the way out, and then used some ender pearls cleverly to make it a little bit easier to get one way or the other. Because you've just given me some ender pearls that I didn't use all of. But this was totally worth it because
Hmm.
there are 8 in here.
That's 2 ingots if you been collecting the gold
Yeah, so that's 2 pieces of
and
netherite something. That's
didn't trade it in for money.
yeah, that's good stuff. So that was a fun one to hide. I appreciate that.
Hmm. I think it was a really late edition as well.
Other than this and the lava pillar back at the intersection that we've already talked about, were there any other things hidden in the crazy ceiling of like all of intersection 4?
Nothing intentional that is like of particular use. There's some interesting, weird stuff going on in the ceiling because of chunk errors, but
I
that's
see.
it.
Okay. And then I don't remember kind of like the order that I did things. So with night vision on, I can see some green over there. If I turn the night vision off, I guess you can even see some green over there if you're really looking. I don't remember if I saw the green or if I just decided I had already been through the other rooms and there was still this giant tall portion of the tower, and so the emerald had to be over here. I don't remember my logic,
Hmm.
but either way, it worked out just fine.
And basically made sure that the people wouldn't be like, oh, there's a tall tower and a tall castle. Let me just climb that and skip the whole area.
By all
But
these
yeah, you're right.
spawners.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people would. I saw someone, TJ, basically immediately also climb towards the top here, trying to find the objective really quickly and
Got
then
it.
head out.
I see. And so
So I put
yeah,
it basically
that's a
inside
and
instead of.
yeah, like that's yeah, the emerald's up here and the objective is yeah, buried deeper in the castle, and so that's good.
Yeah, I'm basically just trying to break that habit 50% of the time.
Right. Or even like 40 or 30% of the time it's effective so long as it becomes sufficiently unpredictable.
Yeah, like did you do it or did you not do it?
Yeah, and this is again the same kind of structure. It's like the player just has to figure out their own way to build or climb up here. There's lots of spawners. There's things raining down from above while you're dealing with those spawners. And when you get up to this level of spawners, there's going to be more things. Though I don't know if they're raining down really from this level.
The creepers would,
Okay.
but they wouldn't trigger that much because they would just prime and then spawn,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would not be like in range of the spawners for long enough for them to spawn a second time. So they would only spawn once and fall down.
Okay.
And then there was basically light rain up top that kind of clued you in, hey, you should go here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've basically 8 more netherite, so you should, from this area alone, you could easily get a full set of netherite,
Right.
at least armor. Plus, I think there's an advanced sun charm because it's like at the top of a church, so it felt like that would be fitting
Okay.
with on a loot chest.
And then the emerald. And if I go out on the top, I don't know that I ever really looked from the outside.
Yeah, so the original thing was that you would not be able to see the emerald from down below.
Uh-huh.
You could only basically see it from going to the actual tippity top of the tower.
Okay.
And I basically made it like this because I felt it was already kind of out of the way enough that it
Yep.
was deserving enough of, hey, here's the emerald.
And yeah, I like the style of with kind of the cobblestone half slabs around it or whatever. Like, makes it so that you can see it, but unless you're kind of looking carefully, it's not as obvious that it's there. And we're far enough away from... Yeah, I forget. Right, the intersection's back there. This is the back side of the castle, okay.
It's the backside, exactly.
Right. So other than being able to see it from kind of like the rooftops over there, you wouldn't really see it.
The cathedral was 185 blocks tall as well.
Gosh.
It's really big.
It is really
That's
big.
That's also why I could never really use it, because it's such a tall thing, so where do you use it? I have a few of these things. I have a really big tower as well that's kind of skinny, and it's like, it's nice, but when are you actually gonna have space for it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
yeah, that's always difficult.
you managed to make a map that had space for it, so good job. All right, I'm flying back over toward the front and the intersection unless there's other things to talk about.
Not much apart from all the blaze spawners around the bottom. Like around the left and right of the windows. There's
Oh,
some
right, just around the
like
outside
that.
of the castle. Like if you walked
Yeah.
around the bottom base. I did a little bit of that, kind of like just out of curiosity. But was there any loot or was there any purpose in coming back here, or was this just...
There's quite a bit of diamonds in case you run out of the other 20 stacks.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And there's a ludicrous amount of lapis, at least for this map.
Ah, I see. Okay,
So yeah, that could be worth it.
okay.
And it's only 20 blaze spawners. Scattered around, of course.
Indeed.
Like pepper and salt on a finely marinated something.
Exactly. A perfect analogy. All right.
That's what I'm known for.
Well, it made an awesome structure to try to get a screenshot of. And... that's
Especially in combination with the other castle as well.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you see them back to back and you're like, what's going on here? Render, why? So yeah, that really worked.
All right. Well, I'm headed back to the intersection, but I guess that's probably a good place to cut an episode for YouTube.
Yes, sirree.
So, for those on YouTube, we will see you again in the next episode. For those on Twitch, stick around and we'll keep doing some more.
See you later.